Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. So, I recently just heard of this guy, no joke, within the past week. Last week I came across this motivational montage from this guy. Uh, Again, I had never heard of him before, and after watching that one video, I I can't get enough of this guy, and I have listened to multiple clips of his videos, and the guy is, of course, Tom Leykus. This guy is a national treasure, and I'm shocked I haven't heard of him before. Although, in this day and age, it's not totally surprising, as America basically tries to silence anybody who speaks any sort of truth uh, that is contrary from the mainstream narrative. I digress. But there was a video or clip in particular that I wanted to go over, and I think I'm going to go over a lot more of his stuff moving forward. And the title of the video was called 0% Interest. And in this clip, Tom Leykus discusses he discusses how great it is to be on his own, to live on his own. And he discusses all the benefits of that sort of lifestyle, basically advising men to do the exact same thing. And personally, I could not agree with this more. I, in some regards, am conflicted because I've said before, I am a Christian. I'm an Orthodox Christian. And I do believe that the natural order of things, the way that God ordained things to be, is for marriage to exist, the nuclear family. I believe that that is the most morally correct way to do things. Also, people forget about this. In the Bible, it doesn't necessarily say that you have to get married, but it says if you're not going to get married, then you basically shouldn't have sex either. Okay. So it's kind of one or the other. And Nick Fuentes has talked about that before. So on one hand, I think that. And on the other, due to my personal experience, not because it directly happened to me, I've never been married myself, but from what I have seen with family members, my father, which I will tell that story one of these days. And quite frankly, it doesn't take a fucking scientist to see this. The way the modern West is set up is so against the nuclear family, but furthermore, it is so against men that it would simply be bad advice to say that without a shadow of a doubt, marriage would be the way to go. Now, let's take marriage out of it, because the main thing that we are going to be talking about in this video is men being okay with being alone, being on their own. And there's another clip that Tom Leykus has where he basically, I will watch that one as well, where he talks about and says that men should stop giving their wealth over to women. Stop doing it. But that's a different clip for a different day. I personally believe that one of the biggest failures, and for any Christian man out there or any red pill man out there, if you want to see things change because you see how fucked up it is right now, you must encourage men to be okay with being alone. So many motherfuckers out here are weak, so weak, that they have to be with a woman, and if they are not either living together, even though it's out of marriage, as soon as they get into a relationship, they drop all their friends, all of their passions, their hobbies, their dreams, their likes, all go out the window. Tom Leykus, of course, says that women are dream killers. Pretty much true. Pretty much true. Point is, men, too many modern men look towards women for all of their answers when it comes to happiness and what they should do. And me personally, I embrace the nomadic lifestyle. When I was finishing my master's degree, I drove a semi-truck, and it was one of the best times I have ever had in my life. And no woman would have made it better in the least. Matter of fact, a woman that I, potentially would be with seriously in a relationship would have only made it worse. And unfortunately, too many mugs out here are walking around with deer in headlight looks, thinking to themselves, well, I don't know what to do unless I have a woman, which is totally pathetic. Whereas myself, on the other hand, I see women as an obstacle. I see them as things that are a necessary evil, so to speak. I see them as potential dream killers, time wasters, money grabbers. Red flags all over the place. That doesn't mean that I hate women or anything like that. I adore women. I wish that chivalry should actually be a thing if women actually like that. I do believe that men should be strong and be the protectors and providers of the household. But the reality is, fellas, and this is why I am such a big proponent of you being on your own, especially until the age of like 27 minimum. Because society, we have never lived in a society the way it is now. It has totally done a 180. It is nowhere near the same as the times of old. The Bible, fuck, it's not even the same as the 70s or 60s. Okay? You have women out here who totally think men are nothing more than sperm donors and walking wallets. So with all of these things, and you have a society who hates you, who does not respect or value your time, your skill, and your potential. So if all of those things are true, you would be an idiot not to apply that to yourself and act accordingly. My biggest gripe is men out here treating women who belong to the streets like they are some princess in fucking Cinderella when they're simply not that. They're simply not that. But unfortunately, so many fellas out here have been sold as much a lie, especially white guys, as these women have. And it's time to forget that right now. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this.
In the NFC final, the NFC championship game. Now, I've got a lot of contacts in Seattle, and Gary and I may just drop everything and fly to Seattle, go watch the game, and come back. Just go for the day.
All right. I had to pause it for a second. Here we go.
Gary and I may just drop everything and fly to Seattle, go watch the game, and come back. Just go for the day. And come back. Because we can.
Because we can. How many married guys out there have totally had their ball sacks amputated, any form of masculinity totally and completely and utterly snipped, and they're getting nothing in return? They're living sexless marriages with a woman who despises them. Happy wife, happy life. Here we go.
Coming this spring or this summer, I'll probably do a trip to Tuscany. Will not be buying a first-class seat for a baby or child. I'll be staying in a villa somewhere if I can set that up.
Like a fucking pimp.
Drinking wine every day. I will not be looking for coloring books or where the bathroom is or any of that stuff. I will be enjoying myself like an adult. That's not going to ever change. Ever. Never. I won't have that obligation.
Me either, guys. I'm not sure exactly when my mindset totally. I mean, I've always kind of been like this, okay? Especially in high school. I mean, I was absolutely the asshole that chicks complain about to the fucking beta nerd, every other day. But I did still, because of my Christian beliefs, I did still think that marriage was an option. And I, despite what I saw in my own family all the way around, I'm not sure exactly when it changed for me. The manosphere and the red pill definitely morphed that. It probably sped up what was already there. But I am so entrenched in this nomadic. Guys, I cannot tell you how happy and amazing and joyous, outright joyous life I have. I can do whenever, whatever I want, always. Always. It is simply amazing. And I'm not missing out on a fucking thing. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not missing out on a fucking thing. Matter of fact, I would say there's these married guys, and because I see it, that are missing out on my life. On my life. Now, some might watch this and go, well, you're just coping. You're trying to impose this because secretly, deep down inside, you don't really feel that way. Kick rocks.
And nobody will be able to put it upon me. Anybody planning on dropping off a basket at my front door with a baby in it, or anybody, going loony and deciding they want to drop a kid off of my home, forget it. Don't do it.
After watching this guy's show just for a little bit, there are so many guys who, including my cousin, who are in marriages simply because a chick decided that she wanted to get pregnant, which no matter what she says, that's always what any chick. Let me tell you guys something. It never happens that a chick just forgot to take birth control, that never happens. If that happens, she wanted to get pregnant and she got pregnant. Always. Don't fall for the lie of a chick saying, well, I just forgot. No. That does not happen. Okay. It does not happen.
That door will not open.
Actually, I need to, I need to pound this point home here. you guys, fellas out there, you realize that a chick can only really get pregnant like 4 months, or excuse me, 4 days out of it may even be less than that out of her whole month. So if it happens, it's not by chance. It's not a whoopsie. It's not a ha. It's not any of those things. It is because she wanted to, and she got you by the balls. That is why. And it's, even though that is terrible and deceitful and fucked up, it's still on you to ensure that that does not happen.
I do not find myself in middle age hoping to find some unexpected offspring out there to make my life complete. My life is about as complete as it can be. Good career, make a good living, travel, have a great home, a lot of good friends, more experiences than most people have in 5 lifetimes. And yes, Dean, of course, brings up in his own priorities. Yes, the new kegerator was delivered. And it is out next to my hot tub. This is no place for a child. Even an adult child. Forget.
Now, me personally, one thing about this, this life, one downside is, personally, I would not mind in the least having kids one day. But if it's an either or, I would always choose this lifestyle. Whereas Tom Leykus, he don't want kids. Well, actually, you know what? He likes kids like myself, but he does not want to have kids. Whereas me, I would be open to the idea. But again, if it's an either or, I know which one I'm choosing.
Get it. No interest. I've been consistent about this. You know how people say they want one thing and then later on they say, ooh, you know what? I was wrong. I really wanted something else. I have been consistent about this since I was 8 years old. 8. At 8, I knew I did not want to have children. I'm not making that up. My mother used to tell me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, oh, you'll change. You'll change. She had no idea how mature I was at 8. How much thought I'd given this. Every single time I've dated a woman, I have said, you understand, not only do I not want kids, don't plan on having any, because if you do, I won't be there. I won't. I told more than one woman that.
It's so funny because if you look at the pictures, this guy, you would expect him to be a total dork, total nerd. I mean, he's he's not in shape. But when you hear his voice, you hear him talk. He's got some fucking balls. He is a man, and he knows his own mind, as it were.
If she had a baby, I would jump off a building. If she expected me to be involved and started haranguing me, I'd rather just kill myself than to go through the family court system and the crap that people I know have been through. Fights over custody, fights over visitation, fights over child support. Forget it.
Guys, I myself had to go through that. And I'll just say this to you guys. For men, it is totally against them. It is totally 100% against them. The courts, especially in California or New York, will always err on the side. Well, any liberal state will always err on the side of a woman. And you know what? That's pretty much how it is in most states.
You can't squeeze blood from a dead man. Well, maybe you can, but you're not going to get any money because he'll be dead. And that would have been me. And I'm fairly certain at this point, because I'm such a public figure, that this has not happened. Because I'm sure one of them would have squirted out of the woodwork by now. But I continue to make this announcement on the air, just in case anyone was thinking of trying some kind of tearful reunion. Don't do it. I have zero interest. I'll be honest with you, too. I'm going to tell you something I've never told on the air before. I've mentioned on the air that I paid for 4 abortions. Do you know one of those women? And I verified it because I went into the control room and listened in. One of the 4 called in weeping to Dean, saying she wished she'd had that kid, did not move me. It did not move me.
Again, I'm not the biggest supporter of abortion. In fact, I'm pretty much not at all, which is probably where me and Tom would depart. But at the same time, guys, and I'm not necessarily advocating for anything here, but you need to remember, it is your life. It is your motherfucking life. And if it is so against you as it is, the only way you will have any semblance of backing for you is you doing it for you. That's it. No one else is going to do it for you. As Andrew Tate would say, nobody is going to save you. No woman is going to save you. The government's not going to save you. It's your motherfucking life.
That kid would be 15 years old by now. Sorry, not interested, don't care, don't feel badly about it. Yeah, you probably wish you did it there, dear, because you wish you'd gotten on the gravy train, I guess. You had no idea I would become this successful.
Oh, shit.
No, I saluted the 4 women who had abortions on my behalf and said, really, 4 cool chicks for doing that. They did what they said they would do, and I appreciated what they did.
Doing me a solid, huh?
Point of saying that. But, if anybody went ahead and did that, if anybody went ahead and had a kid against my will, like just went ahead and did it and said, well, since he doesn't want to have a kid, I just won't tell him about it. And then later on, they were planning on, like, having some tearful reunion or sending the kid to my home.
I fast forwarded it a little bit. Here we go.
I've got a charmed life. I have a great job. I love my work. I love my travel. I eat at the best restaurants. I have great seats for the best concerts. Dean and Gary are with me frequently when I'm, for example, sitting in the 6th row at every heavyweight fight here in Los Angeles, every heavyweight championship fight.
Like, let me give you guys an example of what he's talking about. Like myself, this morning, got up, went to the gym, went and got some coffee, went to a nice little market, I guess, for some post-workout meal. Went to a basketball tournament, got some sushi. And after recording this, I'm going to go see some movies, or a movie rather. And it's going to be a good night. And we'll see how the rest of the evening goes. Simply amazing. Simply amazing. And that's not out of the ordinary for me. Not one bit. Now, I will say I can see how this sounds somewhat selfish. Okay. I can see that. But alternatively, men give up so much as it is and are expected to give up so much as it is. And they have been giving up and giving it up and giving it up so often and so frequently that now the scales are tilted so far the other direction that the only way to change it is by saying, fuck it. I'm going to be selfish. I am going to live my life. That's the only way to do it.
Doesn't matter what comes to town, Rolling Stones, U2, whatever. I have tickets. We frequently all go together. Sometimes just me. Sit in the 4th row for hockey. Hang out with the players, the LA Kings. I mean,
hanging with the boys.
What can I say? Life's good. Do I want that to change? No.
Fuck no.
I don't. I want it to stay the way it is until I'm dead. So, don't expect to wind some kid up and send him to my front door, try to appeal to some paternal instinct you think I have. I don't.
So listen, guys, we will wrap this up. He goes on and reads a letter and talks a little bit more about living on his own and things like that. The bottom line is, fellas, I've said everything I wanted to say. It is okay to to be on your grind on your own, to do your thing on your own. You don't need all these women out here running around saying, I don't need no man. No, no. Men don't need you. And that's the reality. And the truth of the matter is, the more that you're like that, the more tail you're going to get, anyways. So it's a catch 22. You have guys out here, wanting to get tail. They want it so bad that they pursue it so heavily, but then they don't get as much as they can because they're like addicted to it. Whereas if they just were more chill and relaxed and did their own thing and pursued their own goals, they would get way more. Believe me. So it is totally fine for you to live the nomadic lifestyle and to be on your own. All right, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help your boy out. The channel is growing rapidly. Like, comment, share. You know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. In fact, your feelings, because your feelings don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.